Gamma Room, all right? So once again, DJ Logic.
Trendsetter.
All right, and we back once again with another actual legend to us, all right?
Yeah,
One of another OG.
Mr. President.
The man himself, the president, the national president of Gamma Epsilon Theta, Mr. Keith Papa Doc.
Yes.
Right? The great.
Yes.
All right, so we're just gonna, shoot a little questions out there and, just see, get some responses, see where he at. All right. Go ahead, KD. Well, first, before we start that, welcome.
Thank you.
We've been trying to get you over here,
right,
for quite a while. On the cast.
Yeah, but y'all some hard-working brothers, so I understand. I understand.
It's been a movement down in the HRC, so and all this movement has got us busy, like you say. Right. But it's a pleasure to finally be able to get you on the cast and be able to pick your brain and chop it up with you just to we know that we talk to you on a personal basis outside, and you give us advice and encouragement and things of that nature. So we always appreciate that. But to have you in this sitting in this forum, it's truly a pleasure. All right.
And again, when it comes to the Gamma Room, we definitely like to look at the OGs or the legends as what you are.
Yes,
we definitely like to make sure that the history continues.
Yes,
this is almost like an album book.
Yes.
So we got to make sure the right people get they flowers.
This is our archive.
Yeah. So this is another version of the archive.
Well,
so again, we appreciate you sitting down with us.
That's not a problem. I believe in what you guys are doing, and like I said, we passed on the history. Like we were talking earlier, this is like the old country folks. They passed on the stories, of the history. On and on and on. But if you die out, where's your history?
Right.
So this is great what you guys are doing and producing. I love it.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
So
the main question.
So where did it start for you? I mean, why Gamma? And
well,
if you want to, shout out your
line,
okay,
college.
Okay. Well, it started in '79.
Okay.
Mike Borman, as you all know, is the one that twisted my arm to come to the meeting,
Right.
Because I don't know if you guys know, we were roommates in school.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, ride or die. He was my ride or die.
Yeah,
So that's how I came to Gamma. So my line was the Untouchables.
Okay.
It was 5 of us.
Okay.
And like I said, my line name is Papa Doc.
Okay.
Number 4 on the line.
Okay.
Shout out to the fours.
To the fours, yeah.
The
We love the
fours, which y'all.
Four chords, what they call it.
What they call it.
Hey, works for me. Like I said, it was 5 of us, and my line brother that's deceased now, I'd like to shout out for him because his name is Elbow Al.
Elbow Al. Okay.
And if you want the little history on Elbow Al, was that because we were like in the middle of the line, we protected the line.
Right.
They was always trying to break the line. We said, nah, that ain't happening.
Them elbows was tight, huh?
Yeah, so he started throwing elbows, and then we got in rhythm throwing elbows. So he go right, go left, go right, go left.
Right.
We was together, and they never could break the line.
Wow.
So that's the little history that I always love about him. Like I said, he died kind of tragically. He was trying to build a museum up in Baltimore, and he was doing construction, and the house collapsed on him.
Oh man.
But I love that man to death.
Rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace is right. So I wanted a little shout out to him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but shout out. That's what's up. That's what's up. So again, as you see the state of Gamma currently, how do you feel about the current state of gambling?
Well, I mean, we're growing. And like I said, what I love about you guys, you got the spirit. You guys are rolling and pushing it to the future. And that's what I love about you guys. You know, what I was trying to portray to a lot of the other lines before you guys, you know, you guys got it. You guys feel what I call the essence of Loops, you know, the founder, you know. Because like I said, I had intense conversations with him the years when he came back, and like I said, as you always all have heard, like Tom, he told me the same thing. Don't let Gamma die.
Right.
Don't let Gamma die. Because when he came back, it was like years and years that he came back, and he said, I didn't think you guys were going to still be around. You know, because, you know, he left school, graduated, and, you know, kind of Gamma went into the fall.
Right.
You know, so it was like, okay. He said, but he came back and he was like so shocked. And that's when, like I said, we started having conversations, and you know, it was like, it was great, you know, because I got his wisdom, you know, and like you guys said, you just talked to Charles Price. Same. You know, it was like, wow. It was like I was talking to Loops. You know, Loops said the same things, how they had the same mindset. It was like, this was like inspiring. It was really motivating for me.
So I got a question when it comes to the spirit of gambling, because I've heard it a lot from the legends.
Okay.
And again, I consider you a legend in gambling. So when it comes to the spirit of gambling, when you first joined, how was that spirit back then? Like, how did it move back then?
Well, back then it wasn't as strong then, because we were all trying to figure it out, you know. When I pledged the next year, I became the DI. Then I came 15th president. You know, all the time it was busy. It's like you guys are busy. It was always busy and getting to know people and that stuff.
Right.
So it was all that.
Okay.
So it was different, and you're in school, you're trying to graduate. It's a different plane, you know. Like I said, but when it really got to me, the spirit, is when I started talking to people like Loops and Chester Lang, and because Chester, he was like lived down the street from me. Like I said, I could see his back door from my front door. You know, so we communicated all the time. You know, and like I said, you know, that's another brother I was really tight when he passed.
I keep on hearing about. I wish I would have met that.
Oh yeah, you know, I would come into town because when I moved out of Hampton, and I would come into town. If I didn't call him when I hit the Hampton border, he had a problem. He's like, man, you didn't call me. I was like, all right, bro. I thought you might have been, because he worked for NASA, so he was in the tunnel a lot. He used to do these wind things, and it was always around the time when homecoming was coming. About that, he was always either he was in the tunnel or out of the tunnel. Because when he went in the tunnel, he'd be locked up, you know, for days. You know, so but if I came to town and didn't tell him I was there, he had a problem.
Right.
Instant problem.
It was an instant problem. You know. So you know, I had much love for him too. You know, he's up there with Tom. Tom's another brother. He was in and out for a few years. You know, but we always, when I saw him, it was an instant connection. You know, and then like I said, over these last years, when presidency and all that, and he was the vice president. We got even closer. You know, I talked to him sometimes 7 times a week.
Wow.
You know, he called me up. You know, and he said, "Oh, I'm only going to talk to you 15 minutes." Well, that's an hour. That was an hour with him.
Just times it by 4 because you're going to be up here for a long time.
And he called me 11, 12 o'clock. You know, because he used to do a lot of stuff late nights.
Right.
And he started thinking about stuff. He said, well, I need to call and ask you about this. What do you think about this? How we can do this or that? You know, well, how can we pass on the spirit of Gamma to the new guys? And I was like, we was always talking about that, trying to figure out, you know, how we can pass it. That's why I said we always hope that we could pass it on the way Loops, you know, pass it on to us. You know, so I'm hoping. Well, I actually know you guys are getting.
Right.
You guys, you got it.
It's crazy to talk about because, you know, I know you watch some of our shows and you notice that in every show we always shout out Father Time.
Yes.
For
yes.
us, in my opinion, because he never got to meet Father Time, but I
Right. But you did.
And I did, and to me, he was the spirit of Gamma.
Yes.
And that was something in our brief 3 conversations we've had.
Right.
I was able to take from him was the understanding of how he felt about Gamma Epsilon Theta. And so when, you know, other guys come aboard, I'm able to tell them,
Right.
and they automatically embrace it, but they're not even knowing who
he is.
Right. You know, but we shout him out every single time we have a Gamma room. It's you know, shout out to Father Time because, you know, don't let it die lives in our minds every day when we doing Gamma business. You know?
Just to piggyback off of what you're saying, I definitely take, you know, I embrace when I do talk to, again, the legends. That's what I'm going to continue to call y'all. Y'all the legends. So it's like when I talk to y'all, it's kind of like I take that spirit with me every time. Like when I speak to you and just other guys, and it's like, man, I feel that brotherhood and I feel the spirit of Gamma. And it's like, okay, so now it's like I'm taking that with me to pass it on to the next brother and keep it going.
Pass it on.
It's crazy because, once again, to piggyback off of that, the guys, the people, the men that we have actually interviewed, they have some sort of passion that they exude, and we draw it in. Every single one. I have not interviewed anybody. We have not done an interview with anybody that did not have a passion for this fraternity to make it to continue to drive and grow. You know, so that's awesome. That's all. Everybody that we've met and talked to, they have a passion for it, man.
That's one of the best things I can ask for, because that means you get it, you know. And if I can pull it and give it to you, that's what I want to do. You know, like I said, you know, I see that in you guys. I see that growing passion for the organization and how we can move forward. Like I said, you guys are the future, you know, and the future looks bright with you guys, to me.
Yes, sir.
You know, it looks bright. You know, I'm like, hey, you know, when as one of the brothers used to say, he said, well, we're going to go on the back porch and sit in the rocker. I know it's in good hands.
That's right. You know, that's awesome you say that too, because to get that trust from you all, to know that the fraternity is in the hands of the young buck, so to speak. I ain't that young, but I'm young enough to be considered a young buck.
I'm a young guy. I'm a young guy.
It's in
Don't let the grades fool you.
How is that trust factor, and has it always been there when it comes to that trust factor of trust in the fraternity? Especially, well, now that you met us, I know it's probably a little different.
Yes.
You know, and maybe 2 years ago it probably may not have been there. You know.
To be truthful, you're correct.
Okay.
You know, it's correct. Like I said, you guys have been a breath of fresh air to me for the organization. You know, like I said, it was some shaky times here and there, but we go through that.
Yes.
We go through it. Even for us to get to this point, there were good and bad times, and we're going to have that. You know, we're a family. You know, that's the other thing you got to know about us. We consider ourselves a family. You know, family have ups and downs. You know, we have the good and the bad, but you keep it moving. And we, at this point, once you've gone through what we've all gone through in our own way, you know, you're part of this. You can't get rid of it, you know. You have people stray here and there, it's no problem. But you always welcome back,
Right.
even though you may stray.
That's what family is about, right?
That's what family's about. So
Because even currently, like we definitely still tell anybody that crossed over or went through the phases of the process of being a gambler, it's like, hey man, you still welcome to come back.
once you gamble for life.
You gamble for life.
For life.
So yeah, that's definitely one of the things like we definitely express as far as just like, hey, look, it's okay to stray away.
Yeah.
But it's also great to come back.
And know that you can.
And know that
always
you
know
can.
you
And you ain't gonna be judged.
Yeah.
Hey man, welcome. Let's get it.
Yeah,
That's it. That's
let's
it.
hit the ground running.
Yeah, like you said, train keeps moving. Get on, get off, get back on.
Yeah. So if there was one thing that you think that, and I always say this to everybody, if there's one thing that you haven't seen yet, especially over the last few years, what is something you would like to see as far as for the organization to keep moving forward that you haven't seen yet?
I haven't seen. That's a good question.
It had me thinking over here.
It got you thinking too.
I know you've seen a lot because you
seen a
think
lot.
about your era, the era before yours. I know you know about the era before yours, your era, and everything after that you've seen. You know, and now this right here, like you say, this era is a breath of fresh air. But it's, always improvement. And you is not just, we can say the national president, but I know for you that means nothing on the level of the growth of the fraternity. That title is not what it's about for you. It's about seeing what we do. So is there something we are not doing that you would love for us to see us do?
I can't really put my finger on one thing because, like I said, you guys are doing so much stuff that's all in a positive direction. And so that's the main thing. Keeping us positive is what I want to see moving forward. Keeping the positive spirit, which is part of, I call the Loop spirit. That positive thing, because Loops, like I said, I keep going back to him. I get redundant about him because I'm talking about him, but he was a great speaker. The man was a great speaker. And just to sit and, like you said, it's like being with Obama. When I was talking to him, the stuff that he would just say, he said how his visions of it, and we were at the time. He said just being still around was a big accomplishment to him. So that's the same thing I feel about you guys. Y'all gonna make it happen at this point. Y'all are
determined.
Right.
Focused. We're focused.
You gonna have some pitfalls and some,
and we
ride some punches.
I know you know, but you don't see them. But I know you know we having them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know you have them. Because I have them too, even at this level. I think about because I've been in 3 different levels of the organization.
Right. Underground.
I've been an underground president. I've been a local district president, and then I'm national president. It kind of shocked me when I kind of came to that reality. I said, dang, I've been through the whole system.
Wow. That's something to really think back on.
It was like, wow.
Everybody can't say that.
Right.
Right.
So, it's well, like I said, what I see out of you guys is great because you're on the right track. So it's not necessarily anything that I think that you guys need to do because you're doing what I think you need to do. And at this point, nothing's a wrong answer. But we can always talk about it.
Right.
You got a vision for something, let's talk about it. Because that was one of the biggest things. That's probably the thing that I didn't see in the past. We weren't communicating enough. We had group over here, group over there, but it wasn't all cohesive together. Communication. But I see you guys are talking each other and correspond, and you're not too proud to ask
No, not at all.
somebody from the past.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's what's great about it. Communication is one of the strong points that I think Gamma needs to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Communicating.
It is definitely the key to any good organization, relationship,
Exactly.
any type of partnership. Communication is definitely the key. So
Exactly. So if you guys can keep doing that,
we'll continue. Yes, sir.
the sky's the limit.
So I think we're in the midst of I don't want to call it renaissance, but that we've been there. I think we're in the midst of how you want to say it, like one standard across Gamma. Now we know the locations are different, so which means things are different. But there should not be, of course, different standards for no matter where you are. Gamma is Gamma. What do you think about that?
Well,
that idea?
This should be the basic standards across the board.
Correct. And
But-
I'm only speaking of the basics.
Right. Okay, so that, you're correct. The basic standards across the board should always be the basic standard across the board. Now, you're going to have deviations from chapter to chapter, which is fine, as long as you keep that basic criteria going.
It's the foundation.
Foundation.
Keep that going.
Keep that going, and we'll be fine, we'll be fine. So,
But we're gonna keep pushing.
Yeah, we're gonna keep.
that's all I can ask you guys. Keep pushing, like I said. I make the phrase about the train. You guys pushing the train. The fire is there.
It's there.
Yeah,
It's there.
fire is there. I love it.
We have a great support system. We support each other as well.
Right.
More than anything else, we support each other. You have
That's
coming
key, too.
down here is the last at least one person from the last 5 lines is here.
Yes.
From the HRC chapter.
That's good.
So that system itself. If you look at how that is, that's Gamma.
Right.
We're not all on the same line.
No.
But one from every line for the last 5 lines is here.
Yeah. And we all have some commonality.
Right. Right.
We all have the same commonality. Like I said, you hear some of the stories that can't be on camera, but
Yeah.
but you learn how things were different then to what they are now. And you're progressing.
And we give you guys all the respect for that because I tell you, and if some hold up before you ask, I had said we're gonna do this on the camera room.
Yeah, look, we going to
Some of you guys that think this process is hard,
have no clue.
or what some of these guys, and this is why we talk to these guys,
Yeah.
because when we hear their stories and their induction process,
Man,
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear no more.
I don't want to hear that.
For y'all that's listening, we don't want to hear no more.
But outside of that, what can you tell? Like, just give us a story that just stuck out.
Yeah, give us something.
Like,
You got
a
something.
party or something.
Party or
Shit.
something crazy.
Like,
you know.
I've heard about y'all partying.
I heard that campus was.
I heard the campus was rocking. And shout out to Mike. Like he told how tight y'all was, the parties y'all did, and the times y'all had. I know, you're older now. It's way behind you. But if you could just, give a little insight or a quick little story.
It could be campus life.
Campus life.
Campus life.
Or even after campus, if it was something that was really highlighting to you.
I think one of the greatest things was when we did, they started what was now known as the Deja Vu Ball. So the Deja Vu was a thought, a couple brothers, decided that they were going to throw this party. I don't know, Mike probably said it on his thing. Cameras used to do a skating party every year, which was big. It was big. People come from all over. So then they decided to do the Gamma Dance. So it started small, and it kept going and kept fighting. And that was one of those things that don't let it die type things, where every year it was rough a lot of years to even do it. You know, I mean, to the story that I'm kind of telling is, matter of fact, this is when I was president. Matter of fact, so we didn't have enough money for the dance. You know, we had to pass the hat.
Oh,
Literally at the function, we had to pass the hat to finish paying for the bills.
wow, they had a house party. Hey, man, put it on a house party right here in the party.
Donation.
Yeah, because we had it at a facility and everything. And I mean, people was having a good time. And everything. It's like, hey, we ain't got all the money.
Wow.
And the crazy part to me was I had lost my voice from just the dance and everything else. I really lost my voice. So I couldn't even talk to fuss at people. Yeah. So, but passed the hat, got the money, paid off all the bills, and everybody was happy. Yeah. Then we got better after that.
Right.
Managing the money, you know.
Right.
But it was a learning process.
Right.
You know, but that was one of the crazy stories.
Dude, that's wild.
Wow.
You know.
Passing the collection plate.
Pass the collection.
Doing the party.
Doing the party.
That is
Doing the
fun.
party. He said, hey man, listen, we gotta go in the back room, guys. We gotta talk.
Look, we gotta make sure we put this in the song, know what I'm saying?
What you got? What you got?
What you got?
We gotta pay the DJ.
Yeah.
We gotta.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's a wild story.
That's
But
wild.
but that was one of the wild.
That's wild.
Probably one of the wildest stories that I can
Wow.
tell.
All right. Well, I mean, we once again thank you for your time, man.
No problem. Anytime.
And
Anytime.
I'm not gonna sit up here and try to sugarcoat how we feel about you and what you've done to this organization, and just letting you know that we appreciate your efforts, and you know the same vision and passion and energy that you put into it. We plan on doing the same.
We plan on carrying that spirit.
We are going to carry that spirit, and prayerfully we carry it to our grandkids.
There you go.
That's what we're looking.
That's one thing about Gamma. You keep passing it down.
Passing it down.
You know, connected. Like you said, well, you know about the Payne brothers.
Yes.
You know, one of the first legacies
Right.
to that extent. You know. That was inspiration right there. You know.
Well, I know we got the first twins.
Oh,
We have the first twin.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
First
Now
twins.
that's deep.
That's Genesis and Grandstand.
Okay.
Alpha
okay.
and Omega.
There you go.
Hey.
Making moves. Making.
Shout out to my line brother.
And my line, bro.
Grandstand.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we are still making first, man. Still making first, still making history. But thank you once again, taking the time, speaking with us, sharing your thoughts. Thank you for trusting us.
Absolutely. Like I said, you guys got this thing going. I've seen it in a while for us, as an organization. One thing I would ask you guys is maybe reach out to the sister organization, Sigma Gamma Nu.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. We're definitely trying to figure out a way to.
There is a long Mike Forum that's giving us a list.
People to talk to.
We're talking about expanding our crew, by the way.
yeah.
Right.
This might be an
That's great.
expansion soon. We just like you got to trust people first.
Yeah.
Yes.
To be,
Oh yeah. You got to see what
you can't
works.
come on the Gamma Room acting.
Right.
Right? So,
Right.
but yeah, so y'all fellas be looking out, y'all brothers be looking out, because we definitely would love to go to first each chapter. Each
Yes.
chapter have their own entity of the Gamma Room, and
Because again, we having this interview in the Northeast Chapter.
and Northeast chapter.
Northeast, yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
they've come a long way.
yeah, it's definitely we're definitely growing and making a move in that direction. So yeah, thank you, man. We appreciate it. Okay?
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alright.
Hey, that's all we got for you today. All right, DJ Logic.
Trendsetter,
And Mr. Papa Doc himself, the national president of Gamma Epsilon Theta, okay? We out.
Thank you.